GM everybody, and welcome to another episode of Web3 Weekly. My name's Nick, and we're brought to you tonight by Muzegan. I couldn't be more stoked for our guest tonight. This is a big episode for me. Very proud to have on Doran and Shreddy from DeFi app, and really want to dive into something that's going to cater to all users. So tonight it's a very special show, and without further ado, let me welcome both guests tonight, Shreddy and Doran, and I want us to dive deep into DeFi app, an app that I'm hearing is so easy that my grandma can use, and I really want to know all about that. But without further ado, thanks guys. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nick. Thanks so much for having us. Yeah.
GM, Shreddy, I mean, are you excited to start the day with a little bit of live stream, baby?
I'm jazzed.
Yeah,
I'm
Shreddy,
I'm ready.
It's a real GM for you, right? I'm over here in Bangkok. It's about 8 p.m. here. What time is it for you, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 a.m., but Doran, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. Doran's on, I think, Central Time, so... But he's an early bird anyways.
Oh, word. Oh, welcome. Nice one. Well, yeah, so maybe perhaps for the viewers out there, we're streaming live on quite a few different platforms, but for everyone out there listening, perhaps both of you guys could just take turns, maybe a short little bio or paint us a picture of your journey and a bit about yourself before we dive into DeFi app itself.
Yeah. Go for it, Shreddy.
Yep, I can start. So I got my start in Web3 crypto, working in crypto back in like 2020. Started at a very infamous protocol called Olympus DAO. And back then it was all the rage. Everyone was an OMI. There were 3 for life. Many people listening will probably remember those days. Led the marketing team there for a while. In a previous life, I was working in the music and entertainment industry, which translated really well to cultivating and helping to organize Web3 communities. And then after Olympus, I bounced around to a few other Arbitrum protocols, worked in a couple, various projects in the NFT space. Eventually got tapped on the shoulder by a co-contributor from back in the day about DeFi app, and that was a year ago. The rest is history. I took the role here, and I fully sent straight into this. So
nice one, awesome.
Yeah, Doran, man, come on, give it to us.
Yeah, the suspense is killing me, mate. So yeah, while we wait for Doran, yeah, it's just interesting, right, Shreddy, how things kind of work out, right, in terms of Web3. It's such an emerging space, but it's also there's small pockets, and you just kind of you never know where these roads lead to, right? But
yeah, I never thought I would end up, working at an NFT lending protocol at one point. Right? It was some actual real friends of mine in real life were creating the app. And they asked me to help out, so I was more than happy to do so, right? But
yeah,
when I started in crypto and Web3, that was never the first intention or anything like that. So yes, you find yourself in strange places.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm having a little connection issue. You broke up there. Can you hear me all right now, man?
I can hear you just fine.
Ah, beautiful. Nice. So, okay. So here's where I'm excited, right? Because Muzegan tends to cater to all types of users. Like I said, I'm over here in Bangkok, right? And the scene over here ranges from people that are just building all the time and cooking, some cool stuff that's been happening. We have Consensus right next door in Hong Kong going on right now. A couple months back, ETH DevCon was in Bangkok. Things were crazy good, but you find a massive spectrum. And you hear about different cycles, you hear about all different things. We find a big gap in terms of users and stuff. So I guess what I was hoping to talk to is how your app, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it tends to cater to all users, right? It's so simple. I know the tagline, right? But maybe walk me through a little bit about like what is DeFi app, and then perhaps we can kind of go into like how it caters to the average person, but also the experienced people, like that massive brains you're seeing.
Would love to do that. We just got our man Doran back. I want to see
nice.
if he's back in and he wants to give an intro on himself.
I'm back in.
Yeah.
I don't. That's so strange. My internet just decided to die right when we were about to just absolutely blow up the internet and do amazing things here.
I wanted more time to speak. I'm sorry, I had to do that.
Yeah. No, really quick. Crypto 2017 got into trading. 2020 got into DeFi, AVAX. Fast forward, got with the team at Wormhole. Was around when they did their airdrop, launched their token. Was senior community over there. Head of community now at DeFi app. That's the long and short. I won't bore you with any more details. Maybe my internet will die again if I try to go back further into the past.
No, those are great accolades, man. Those are way better than mine. All I can say is I bought the top of Litecoin in 2017 and Charlie Lee dumped all over me.
Dude, that's so funny. I bought at early November and then it quadrupled end of November, early December. And I was like, this is the best. Let's go.
I thought so too. I bought your bags.
Well, I apologize.
Oh, good, man.
I lost enough later for the both of us, trust me.
Yeah, right. And we were chatting like for a minute there about how these roads are just so wild. You never know where any of these things are going to lead to.
In traditional markets too, man. Like in stocks. I mean, if you talk to any of the best stock traders, they'll tell you that they had to cut their teeth on those losses, and it helps you, learn from your mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. In my opinion, it's the only way to learn in life in general. So,
yeah, absolutely. So walk me through a little bit about like why the average person will benefit, like the average user, in terms of like onboarding users. This app, in my opinion, is the one, and just because of its user experience. But maybe you can help articulate a bit about how the average person could use this app and how they should and why they should care about it.
Yeah. I mean, we think so. We think that's the case, right? I like the way our co-founder Dan puts it. He says it's the decentralized exchange that never ended up getting built, and now it's being built. I like to think of it that way. It's like the idea for DeFi app is to create an experience that is as good or better than a centralized exchange, because we do think that having the experience that a centralized exchange gives people is actually a good thing. The token to token ease of use, the simplicity of that, no thinking about chains or gas or transactions or anything like that. It's actually a very good way for users to think about it. And it shows because more people by a large margin use centralized exchanges than they do for DeFi. But we thought that, and we are starting to prove that you can have that experience and still have everything be full self-custody, no KYC, fully decentralized. And so that's really what we're after. So if you're after like no hurdle, no learning curve crypto, and you just want to get started right now, today, and a lot of people do, that's what we can kind of help to offer a lot of people.
Nice. Yeah, it's really, for me, the way I describe it is it's about democratizing DeFi as a whole. Like, and when we think about like what that means, I mean, it's really just taking all the best aspects of DeFi and how DeFi empowers everyday users to do what they want to do, and making that accessible to people that either were skeptical or just haven't heard about it or didn't know how to get involved. Because ultimately our goal in the end is to onboard the next 100 million users into DeFi. And the only way that happens is by making it more accessible, making it, creating a usability for the average person, looking at what the capabilities are for an average person and catering to those, and not.
Oh no.
No, I for sure though. I think it's massive important. You touched on something super vital, which was just like accessibility, right? And we mentioned like that gap in skill set, even with terminology, right? I often, when I try to onboard people, like I feel like I'm alienating myself or alienating them when I start to go deep into like what a swap is, and I start to use a lot of DeFi jargon, especially when I have like mates who are interested, right? Because you're seeing that we're on the foothills of like mass adoption. Like we're with everything going on, you know, good, bad, and ugly with the space right now. Like we're getting noticed, right? So I think it's cool that you guys have like put so much emphasis in the user experience as well, and kind of empathize from that user perspective. For me, I think that's massive, because I don't know how my bank works, right? And when I send things from Thailand to the USA, right, from here, like I don't pay attention to what rail it's on or how it's
it just
operating.
works, right?
And
it just feels good. And you're totally right. That's what we've spent most of our time on, is trying to figure out how to make that user experience actually feel really nice. And you bring up a bank, which is a good point. I think a lot of DeFi in particular gets billed as this piece of tech that needs to sit outside of like the bank experience, because that was the whole initial thought process. And I think that's great, and you can still have like a, you know, very cyberpunk decentralized view, but most people will relate better if you bring it back to something that they already know. So what you might notice in DeFi app is sometimes it kind of feels a little bit like a neobank, even though it's all decentralized. It's just easy to use in the same way, right?
Nice. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I was curious, we touched on like different cycles, right, earlier, just early on, right? But like what things or what kind of takeaways did you guys have, or what lessons did you learn from previous cycles, and not just like the DeFi cycles, but maybe perhaps some of the projects that have come and gone, because we tend to build off of like the progress of others, right? At least that's how I've seen it each cycle from when I got in. But maybe like walk us through any of those influences or things that you knew were like, whoa, we're not going to go down that route, because we see how that ended.
I'd love to talk about this. This stuff actually gets me really pumped.
Okay, nice one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think one of the current narratives is just the heavily VC-backed projects. You know, these projects that raise 200 million, 250 million, and these VCs get in a super low val, and then the community and everyone like us, you know, the everyday people, they get in a much higher val.
We keep losing my man Doran right as he's about to go off.
I know, he's crushing it too. Yeah.
Wait, but can you guys hear me?
Now we can. You dipped out for a second there. You're back.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. You take it, Shreddy. I'm gonna try and work on my internet.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Doran about that a lot. Our raise information, you can find it online. I think the block has covered it in a few different articles. We recently had one come out on Thursday. What we try to do, you know, we've taken a lot from that. We've also seen a lot of that from this cycle, like leading into where we are now. We tried to take as little money from VCs as possible and spread more of the equity, token equity, whatever, around to a lot of different people, so that a lot of people felt like they could get in on this early, and we weren't just like lining the pockets of, you know, insiders or anything like that. I'll say another thing is, you know, last cycle there was a lot of focus on, like, it was DeFi summer. It was all about the newest food farm, you know, the newest Ohm fork, right? And I think for us, like, that, the way that we look at that is that kicked off fragmentation across DeFi. And so now you have so many different products, but it set up the stage for someone to come in and say, we can organize this into a really nice experience and just provide that to users, right? Give them the best of DeFi in one place. So they kind of set us up to like have a need for an app like this, right?
Nice. Yeah, and check out, we'll drop the link in the article happened from the block. I think that's a really good read for everyone out there. So we'll drop that in the comments below. But you're right. Like I definitely noticed that the fragmentation happened, and that happened almost like right before all this capitulation happened too. Like where I think we almost got too caught up into all of these things in regards to cycles or hype, and we lose track of things along the way. And then with that, you lost, like, I'm just saying in general, I've noticed like the space lost trust and credibility when every time something like that happened. So, you know, people were hesitant to want to lock up things and trust the next thing. But I think what I dig about you guys is that you just go right back to the human-centered design, where you're just like, all right, well, let's empathize with the user's point of view, and start there, and let's meet them where they are, right? Not everyone needs to go YOLO leveraging, right? Especially if you're new to the space, right? There's levels and layers and risks to these things, and everyone can do their own stuff. But I love that you're offering like this layer of accessibility, but it's catered to everyone. And it's kind of like a choose your own adventure kind of way, right? Plus, like, I didn't even talk about like the gamified stuff of it yet. We haven't even dug into like the way that you gamified it in the default.
We'll definitely get there. But there is so much of an emphasis here on allowing the user to set their own pace. At the beginning here of the product, we were kind of setting a little bit of the pace because we only have a limited amount of actions you can take on the app. That will be expanding soon, sort of to like what we would consider your basic DeFi integrations. But you're totally right. Before we started building the app, we did a lot of user testing just to kind of pick people's brains. I think we did like, I want to say we did like 50 or 60 user interviews with people who had never tried crypto in their life, never tried DeFi. The average amount of time that came back that people said it took them to get comfortable using DeFi was like 3 weeks. And we said it could be like 3 minutes, and it should be 3 minutes, right? And so that's what we really, really went for.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know that, like, I mean, I haven't onboarded my grandma yet, right? But I've onboarded, not yet. Yeah, but she's listening, you know, shout out, grandma. But like, I've onboarded cousins and stuff from afar, and I'm working on other family members and stuff. And yeah, these are people that let's just be real, like, they're just new to the game. But you know, we want to make sure that their experience or their entry point into the space is a good one. And I think that's where this emphasis back on the user is pivotal. You don't want someone's first entry point to be like a rug, you know what I mean, or some coin. Like it already, the space, like we talked about, fragmentation and all sorts of other risks aside, like it's a hard time if you're new to crypto. You know, there's so much happening. So I think like it's really cool to focus again on like making sure that if we want to achieve mass adoption, we have to get out of our echo chamber. We have to start to listen to everyone, and we have to work together and build off of what's already complementary. And I think, that's definitely a cool vibe that I picked up on with you guys' stuff.
Right now, it's a little rough, especially with all of the token stuff going on. A lot of these launches that are kind of, you know, shining a bad light on some of the bad actors in this space. But you kind of need this flush out to happen so that people can return to fundamentals. I feel like this happens a lot, and usually it's like a cycle cleansing almost, right? And it's like there'll be an initial kickoff of something that makes people pay attention to crypto, and I think a lot of this cycle was like, I don't know, like Bitcoin price going really crazy, the ETFs. And then there was like a lot of meme coin stuff that came after that. But what always happens is an alt season follows, right? So hopefully we'll see that soon. And people will return to fundamentals and choose products and projects that are honest, right?
Yeah, nice one. So speaking of that, like how does someone find you, and how could like we how could they get access? How could we help the viewers out there listening to get access to what you guys are building?
Well, they're all in luck that we launched the public beta last week. So now we're in a place where if a user wants to use DeFi app, they've kind of got two ways. I don't think there's any codes left from our side. We dropped one code in our launch thread. But for example, they could go through, the code from your side, join your faction, and they can literally sign up with an email in like 1 minute. It's very easy. And
Nice.
by putting in that code, joining in through that link, what it does is, puts them into a team where whatever actions they take, benefit them, but also benefit the community at large. And I think, you're pulling up this tweet now for the degen arena. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But anybody right now can get access to the app and start to try it out.
Nice. Yeah, and that's really cool, because like you're also just like, again, it's more of a grassroots movement that it feels like. It's like almost like you're doing a vetting process in itself. You're not looking to just come out there and move so fast that people get caught up into what we all got caught up with last cycle. Like I just like the concept of how it's rolling out. I love the watching the leaderboard and stuff just for the degen arena. I know like we'll talk about it in a bit, but that was a big attraction for me, and that was a big like selling point to my friends. It's like, hey guys, like let's do this together. And that's where I think you really get this like almost mixed bag of people, friends of mine, relatives of mine that are new to the game, but then other like NFT degens or previous cycle degens that I would tell in a heartbeat. So that's what I love about this, is like it actually has the essence of Web3, where you're bringing so many people together. I didn't think like my mate like from the Dark Farms community would be in the same like team as like my aunt, but like here we are. And that's because of like the accessibility factor. So just a minute, like we can take that down, Dex, but that's all I wanted to say about that. It's just like it does seem like we're finally now trying to pay attention to like where we need to go instead of just going super fast. Dorian, can you hear us? Are you still okay?
I'm here. I can hear you. If my mic goes out, just yell at me and tell me. Can you hear me right now?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Loud and
Okay.
clear.
So, but this is perfect, right? Because it shows that I'm a boomer. I'm having internet troubles. I'm having mic troubles. That's why we're building DeFi app. For this exact reason.
For all the mic troubled folks out there, yes.
That's it. Have you ever been bugged by a mic? We got your back. Don't worry. Yeah. Nice.
Hopefully not a guy named Mike. You're very right about the grassroots thing. This is kind of the approach we wanted to take from the very beginning. I mean, Doran can probably talk a little bit about how he thinks about community building and stuff like that. That's more his area of expertise. But for the degen arena, at least, we wanted people who want to showcase that they are like an integral part of DeFi to come up and prove that, right? And that's why we didn't stop at just saying, hey, we can get some protocols in here, right? Some big protocols. And we do have those people, in the arena. But we also have a ton of people that are just your average folk, your average user. And we're happy to have them in and get them factions. We have between influencers, individuals, alpha groups, protocols, a really nice spread of different sections of DeFi. So we wanted to make sure we had that.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Yeah. And I was wondering if you guys wanted to talk about what you guys are doing with Kaito. I mean, like even from a user perspective, I think it's super interesting just what Kaito AI is doing in the space, but even more so to see you guys be a part of like the Kaito Connect stuff. So is there things you can like talk about with that, or maybe like share how that came about?
Yeah. Doran, do you want to kind of run a little bit over maybe like how helpful Kaito's been in general for us, and then how we kind of rolled that into Kaito Connect?
Yeah. So for me, I come from a previous job where I used a software for engineering purposes, and it's an industry where engineers are heavily touted and they're very important. And so for me to be able to use that software and sort of become an engineer through learning it, it was a game changer for the firm that I worked at. And so that's what Kaito has been for us in this industry. It's really been amazing to see these different projects come out with software and tools that allow you to no longer run blind, in the space, where you can actually see, okay, what's the mind share of these different projects? How are these tokens doing? What's the actual engagement of these different projects? Not just, what you're seeing on the screen, but how many inner circle CT, as Kaito calls them, people are engaging with these projects. And it gives you a better picture of what actually is going on in the space. So it's been a game changer for us. A friend of ours got us into it originally, and we've just run with it ever since. And so when Kaito Connect came along, it was sort of a no-brainer for us. We already had a conversation going with Kaito. We had a group chat going with Kaito, and we just, approached them and got involved, and it was off to the races. I think we're sitting in second place right now with like 10 million votes. So we're probably looking at acceptance this Friday, if not Wednesday. Awesome. So yeah, it's been a fun run. Really stoked on Kaito, really bullish on their team. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about them.
Yep. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I know I've been putting my yaps towards that. But what does acceptance mean then? Just out of sheer curiosity and selfishness, because I'm like stoked to see. Yeah.
I think that's probably a little bit of the mystery, right? Like everyone, I think for a lot of people, and this is the same for a lot of different DeFi projects, it's like, okay, probably interacting with this means there's a token coming at some point, right? So I think what a lot of people are thinking is, hey, earn more yaps, be able to participate more in the voting rounds. There must be some, connection here with that. It was the same with Hyperliquid, right? When they were kind of launching, it was, hey, use the product, earn the points, and it'll translate into some sort of token drop. And I think there's a layer of speculation around that, but I'll tell you, Doran can attest to this too. Just being in the running for the Yapper leaderboard kind of opens you up to a lot of different conversations with people. It's a very good visibility tool. And I think what a lot of people are going for with this is to say, hey, Kaito's actually really cool tech. And it's trying to do something that is improving visibility for crypto, which is kind of something that has always been lacking, or maybe like data visibility, right? So a lot of these teams are saying, hey, we can get a better snapshot of who our community is, who our users are, the people talking about us, and kind of concentrate that all in one place. Yeah. So I mean, at least for us, that's something that we're really looking forward to.
Do you think it's like also bring back or bringing credibility to the forefront too? Because it seems like it's almost like becomes a stamp of approval, right? Like this endorsement or this like association, it almost becomes like a new nice transparent standard. But what do you think about like in terms of like the credibility side of it?
Yeah, I think there's kind of you make a good point. A lot of the projects on here on Kaito, like some of the ones you might expect, they already have like leaderboards, right? So your Barachains, your Pudgy Penguins, Frax, whatever. A lot of the stuff on the Yapper leaderboard is what people might consider like new school DeFi or like this cycle's projects. And so I do think it's like a bit of a stamp of approval to say, hey, okay, these are people, building new and interesting things in the space. I see a lot of the people that we have conversations with and that we've been talking to in here, which is really cool to see. So yeah, I would definitely say that there's like an aspect of like new and upcoming feature, nice. Featuring going on in that platform. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Out of sheer curiosity, what's your favorite feature on the DeFi app itself? Like, what do you, or maybe perhaps what are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, that's a good question. I call one of these things I call the Doran special because he brought it up first. There's this really, when you use the app and anyone who's listening, we really hope that you do and hop in there. One of the things that you'll notice is you can use the app in two different ways. So you can use it with external wallets. So if you're already in DeFi and you're already familiar, you're using these products like a Rabby wallet, a Phantom, whatever, you can connect those to the app and kind of use this as I like to call it like a meta aggregator, an aggregator of aggregators. And it's kind of just like a no thought way to just get your tokens from one place to another. One thing that's really cool about it is if you want to do quick bridging and swapping, what you can do is, without even connecting your external wallet, like let's say you already have a smart account set up on the app, you can send the tokens that you want to swap into the smart account, trade them, and then withdraw them back to your wallet, right? So without having to find a bridge or a DEX, you can just go in and make that swap. And if you do it that way, you don't even have to think about gas or transactions or anything. You just swap the tokens, and it's super easy to get your ins and outs from there.
Nice.
So I like that. It's kind of like a little workaround, and it's kind of a sneak feature. So we're actually thinking about like building that out and maybe having like a bridge section of the app where you can just move tokens around if you want. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is the yield farming stuff, because a lot of what I have done before DeFi app had to do with yield strategy. So I'm really excited to see that stuff come, and that should be coming in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
But yeah, we've got a lot more stuff in the pipeline, but for me that's like the really big unlock, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, and the way that I look at it is like, I'm just stoked for the long-term vision of the project, because what we have right now is like so early, so bare bones, and it's already incredible. And so as we perfect and iterate on that, what we end up with essentially, ideally, is a product that takes away all of the inconveniences of DeFi. Like anything you've done on chain in the past where you were like, this is stupid, or this is silly, or why does this take this many clicks, or like, I'm stuck now, like what do I do? Oh crap. And like all the things we've dealt with where it's like, this is annoying, why is this set up this way? Like if this was set up this way in the traditional world, we'd be calling it antiquated and archaic and like be so annoyed. So all of those things, just literally solving all of those problems. Like right now, I mean, just get in the app, do your swaps, bridge if you want to, but we don't call it bridging because that verbiage should be extinct in a year or 2 years, because it's just so much easier and considered different. But yeah, I mean, it's just like literally going to be the homepage of DeFi, your one-stop shop to do everything you need to do, and also incentivizes you to use it and motivates you to use it because it actually makes your experience better. That's the way I look at it long term.
Oh, absolutely. And again, like I was onboarding people from like over the phone or over the computer, like people from America when I'm in Bangkok. And these are family members whom I love and care for, so I have all the patience in the world for them. But I couldn't imagine trying to walk them through MetaMask or something, last cycle or previous cycle. I'm like, oh, then you're gonna click on this and that. Like it would have just been a nightmare. I would have lost my patience. But like also, like you mentioned, like it sounds and seems so antiquated that it became a constraint. It became something that held the entire space back. So I love it, and I love the idea of cutting out these jargon and stuff like bridges and stuff like that, because
even I'm using it, and I feel bad. I'm thinking about your listeners. I'm like, I should probably just say like, I don't know, trade, swap, like, and that's what we're trying to get to, right? Like,
but it's a habit, right? Yeah,
it's a habit.
Swap or whatever.
Yeah. But it's really what we think about is like token to token interactions should be key, right? That's what people are trying to do at the end of the day. The bridges, the chains, it's all it. I like. When you think about back to like early internet days, all of the, internet access providers and software and stuff like that, eventually it all fades to the background and it just starts to run apps, right? And that's like what we're trying to get to. A lot of the chains and stuff can fade into the background, and we love the chains. We talk to them all the time, but they're very.
Trust me, we love the chains.
I love the chains.
Yeah, everybody does, right? Like,
but people shouldn't be thinking tribally like I need to use this chain because I don't know, they're my favorite or whatever, right?
It's
like,
a self-imposing belief. It's also like what does the new person, in order to onboard and then to double to the next, like whatever, to achieve the next billion users, whatever app or methodology we want to go with, in order to do that, like we cannot like we have to look at their perspective and be like, all right, what does it need to know? and what don't they need to know? We don't need to tell them about Bitcoin Cash and Roger Ver and all this other nonsense. Like, let's go to what do they need to know now, right? And I think that is where I've seen in real time people trying to explain to other people, like normies or whatever, and the normies just, you see the moment that you lose them. And it's not even me, it's my friends who are like really passionate about it, or perhaps they want to explain something, and it's just like, well, we're not going to get there like that, you know what I mean? So let's figure out, what is the need to know, how does it benefit them, how like, let's talk about how much fun it is as well, especially how you guys have sorted out the team system, like, and let's look at exactly like from the perspective of somebody who is curious but wants to learn more. How do we scaffold them and guide them through this process that already is full of, you know, landmines, you know? I mean, like, it's a rite of passage almost to kind of go through some sort of setback, right? But we could do this in a way that's still very, very user friendly, you know? And I think
100%.
that's super cool. We're gonna take a quick break, but like what I was gonna do, hopefully, is turn it over. Dex, in the audience, anyone out there listening, you guys feel free to ask some questions. This is a great time. So perhaps maybe after we come back, if we have any questions, we can take some from those listening out there. Shout out again to everyone in the back, and Dex, Rachel, Jonathan, from Muzegan. Appreciate this. I mean, we're really just about bringing education here. And again, having you guys on is super helpful, super educational, especially in the work that you're doing. But we'll be right back, and then feel free to open up to ask anything you want to Doran and Shreddy. Cheers, guys. And we are back with Shreddy and Doran from DeFi app. We've been talking all about how their recent rollout just a few days ago is now starting to make crypto easier and making DeFi friendlier for everyone. So shout out for everyone who's been with us from the beginning. But without further ado, let me reintroduce Doran and Shreddy. And I wanted to kick things off real quick with just like a big picture question. And then if there's any questions in the audience, we can field to them. But guys, just like zooming out a second, we were talking a lot about like cycles and DeFi and jargon. I'm curious what you guys think like is like the biggest misconception that people have about the DeFi space. And then let's start there, and then perhaps how that relates back to what you guys have been building.
Yeah, I think I have a good answer for this. I think that like people think that DeFi is really hard when it's really just very confusing. And I think this goes back to a lot of the stuff that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
I think it just takes time, right? And I think the misconception is that people think like DeFi is this cryptic, scary thing. when really, if you do start to play around with the projects and use the products in the space, they're quite analogous and similar to things that you probably already used. It's just the discovery time is so much greater. Obviously, this is something that we're hoping to kind of help fix, right? But I think that's probably the biggest misconception, is that you need to have like a PhD or something to understand and use DeFi. When I don't think that's the case. I think you can really get, into it pretty easily, but hopefully we can help people realize that, right? Go at their own pace as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, have you heard what I've had to say about it? Like, I'm a fan. I've told you about how I'm influencing my relatives, right? We're going to pull up some other tweets here in a bit about what the rest of the community is saying. And then perhaps we can also talk a little bit about just like why community is so important in Web3. I mean, we know this, right? But we also know that the community itself, like we're getting like everyone who stays around through these kind of cycles or these cleanses that you mentioned earlier, we all learn more, we grow more, we go through adversity together. But it's really the essence of Web3. But maybe as we pull up some tweets from the community and what they think about what you've launched, wondering how you guys view the power of this community and how it's been instrumental in supporting this grassroots movement.
Yeah, I'm going to push that one over to Doran, the community master.
You
Nice.
would. Yeah, so
Do.
really the way that I look at this is like community, it can seem so ephemeral or ethereal or strange if you have a limited perspective on it. But really what it is, community at its core, in my opinion, is just breaking down all the walls between a traditional, like for example, a traditional company and its users and its customers and its clients. Like, it's no longer this wall and not being able to reach support and talking to these annoying robots on the phone and trying to get to a real person. Community is breaking down all the walls and bridging from the actual person using the product to the people building the product, and making that bridge as seamless and quick and prompt and efficient and effective as possible. That's really the way that I look at it. I mean, that's essentially what it is. And so how can we, with that in mind, in that context, how can we build the best community possible? One of the ways that we're doing that is we have this sort of company-wide thesis that we call RITS level support. And so we're proud to tout through our web widget and our Discord widget a support system that rivals any of the best customer support systems out there in the traditional world, and definitely takes a big stand against any DeFi protocols or crypto native projects customer service infrastructure out there. I mean, a lot of the time you don't have it. You just go into the Discord and open a ticket. But on our site, in our app, we have a web widget where you can talk 24/7 to a member of our team, not somebody that doesn't know anything about our product, but an actual member employee on our team who's got their hands in the cookie jar on a daily basis. And I RITS level support really is just an ode and callback to the Ritz-Carlton hotels.
Yeah.
Every one of their dude, it's like a globally known thing that their employees are empowered to provide this amazing experience.
I love that. 5-star service. Yeah, exactly.
5-star service.
Yeah,
their employees are literally empowered. They have like $1,000 empowerment where anytime, any reason, no questions asked, no need for authorization, they can reimburse a customer or a guest in the hotel with through $1,000. I mean, it's anyone, no matter who we are at the company. You know what I mean? So just really empowering our team to be able to provide that 6-star level service to users. That's really what we want to do. That's really what our community is all about. Bridging the gap and then just taking it one step further and providing next level, always ahead of the pack service. And that's my goal as head of community, at least.
That's so dope. Yeah, no, that's so bullish to hear, and it's just so on point. Like I worked with a startup out here, and we consulted with IDEO, the human-centered design consulting company, right? And again, it's just like that whole idea of empathy and human-centered design. Dex, if you want to pull up one, any of the tweets in the link, I just sent you one. I would love to find out a little bit more about what the community's thinking, because again, it does sound like you guys got your finger on the pulse of what makes a real good community.
And this is Dex.
Oh, we're gonna we'll pause that for a
That
second.
is a good video, but
Wait, it is a great video. I was wondering before we played it, Dex, we could pull it full screen if you could do it on X. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah. Because I love this. This is something that was like a game changer for when I shared it to a lot of my friends. All right, Dex, whenever you're ready, man, I'll shut up. Cheers. Oh no.
Dan. If Nana can't complete the DeFi speedrun challenge in under 45 seconds, Dan gets tased by this guy. And we're off. Create EVM, Bitcoin, and Solana wallets with her email. Done. Buy some ETH with a credit card with no KYC. Done. Swap ETH to a Solana meme coin, no gas, one click. Done in 12 seconds. Long the same meme coin with 5x leverage. Done. Enter a yield farm with a leftover ETH. Click, click. Done. And she did it. All done in 25 seconds flat. You know what? Let's tase Dan anyway, because he wears socks with sandals. DeFi is fucking annoying, so our team of 25 builders from Robinhood, Lyft, and Web3 fixed it. Introducing DeFi app, a super app that lets you on-ramp fiat, swap ETH to a Solana meme coin, enter a yield farm, take out a loan for $1,000, all from a single app on your iPhone. Gasless, fully on-chain, no KYC required, ever. On a platform so easy, even your grandma could use it.
I just swapped Ethereum with salami.
We also built our own AI agent named Jarvis for managing your entire crypto portfolio. Just say, I want to buy 0.5 ETH of RT, and Jarvis will present you with the best price. Wait for your confirmation, and voila, swap complete. Want to earn a yield instead? Simply ask Jarvis. Get presented with the best yield options based on your personal preferences, click to deposit, and we're done. DeFi app has made crypto as easy to use as an iPhone. Powered by our recent fundraise led by Mechanism Capital. Access every token, every app, every chain on DeFi.app, the front door for your crypto. We just made centralized exchanges obsolete. Our mission? Displace the $40 billion in annual revenue captured by centralized exchanges, and through decentralized governance, return that to you, the users, via a token that allows you to own a piece of the entire ecosystem. For degens, by degens. Welcome home. But we're not done yet. Our esports beta tournament is officially live. Access is on a first-come, first-served basis, and the first 1,000 users will be heavily rewarded. Experience the magic of gasless trading across all chains while collecting points and rewards. Sign up now at defi.app.
It was easy as
I love it.
Nana.
Nana shorts. I know that my grandma's gonna hit me up and blow up my phone later after she sees it when she's done with bingo and whatnot. But dude, that's a Super Bowl level commercial. It's so good. Thanks, Dex, for pulling that up. It's just a lot of fun, and again, it's just I love the playful aspect of it. But I also just love how much thought you guys have put into it, from the technical side, from the user side, all of it. I could probably go on longer with so many more questions just after that, but I'll try to keep it short. I know you guys are busy, got a lot going on. Maybe I have one more question. Just one. We know where to go. We know where everyone can go. We know that it's referral program at the moment, referral only. I've dropped a referral link into the comments. But everyone out there listening, please go ahead and dive in. When could they expect it, perhaps for mobile? Is that something in the works maybe soon? Yeah. So when do you guys think?
Yeah, already in the works, which is great. I mean, if you wanted to now, the app works great on a mobile browser. You can hop on and just log in. But nice. We do want to have a dedicated mobile app. It's being built right now. It'll probably be ready at least for initial testing in about 2 to 3 months. And then from there, we'll have it fully live. It'll just be so much easier, right? Bringing that hurdle down one more layer. Just pull it off the App Store, get signed up, using Face ID, just make it super easy for people to get in the app and start using it. But yeah,
Yeah.
should only be a few months from now.
Yeah, super easy now though. I've accessed it on my phone and on the website as well as defi.app. App.defi. And just curious, like as we wrap up, is there anything else that you guys wanted to say? Like I said, I could talk so much more. Even like got super intrigued by Jarvis and all of that stuff, which is coming up soon.
Yeah.
Like just super bullish ahead. Like exciting times, guys. And I'm very grateful to just have this moment to pick your brain and learn a bit about you guys. But is there anything else that you wanted to highlight before we cut the stream?
The only thing that I would just say is like if you're watching and you aren't sure, just try it. There's always an aha moment. People will come back to me and say, "Oh, I didn't realize it was like this easy." And not to toot our own horn, but it's really what we've been building for, right? Just specifically that moment. Even people who are, on-chain native, like, daily heavy users, are like, this is really cool. This is really great. So I would just say like, it's very easy to get set up. Just try it out, right? That's all that I would tell people, and you'll kind of get the idea that we're going for, and kind of can see where the possibilities will lead to.
Nice.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is just anyone who came out, we really appreciate you listening, viewing, appreciate your time. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Musigan. And just really excited for what's to come. 2025 is going to be a big year. We hope you guys are excited as well and getting involved and continue to educate. What these guys are doing here is amazing. It's all about education, set the foundation, and go from there. So thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate you.
Cheers, man. This is our pleasure, my pleasure. And what makes me super excited is just like the incentives behind what you guys are doing. And I think that would be super, super exciting for our users out there as well. Even when we're off with this, when we're offline, if anyone has any questions regarding it, reach out to myself. You can also find Shredding Dorian on X. We're streaming on LinkedIn right now. So, reach out to myself, Jonathan, or Dex in the background should you have any questions about DeFi app. But it is super, super simple. Big fan of you guys, rooting for you. Good luck with all this stuff with Kaito AI and everything. And that's another thing, everyone out there, if you're not familiar with Kaito AI, go to the website, look into it. Because again, it's just great to see builders like in game recognizing game, builders recognizing builders. Very cool stuff. Let me check the comments one time. Yeah, it's no questions now, but that's all right. Keep them coming. If
They're
you have
satisfied.
them,
They're happy.
100% satisfied. Guys, cheers so much. Oh, shout out to Trinlu Vietha. Yeah, thank you. Maybe one day we'll do this again, but in the meantime, all the best. And I hope everyone out there listening goes to give you guys a follow as well, and just keep an eye on what you're doing, because you guys are cooking, man.
Thank you.
Dope. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for supporting us. Appreciate it.
No worries. All right, guys. Thanks everyone listening. We'll see you next week. Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.